I didn't put this in the show notes, man, but this came up this week. And since we're talking about style, swagger, and the black culture, and speaking of the Yankees, Jazz Chisolm, who is the second baseman for the New York Yankees, received some flack this week, bro. He
Yeah.
received some flack for something as simple as sucking on a lollipop. He wasn't at the bus stop. Shout out LL, but
Yeah.
he wasn't at the bus stop, but he was sucking on a lollipop during the game. So he had a Tootsie Pop in his mouth during the game, and people lost their mind. They went
Yeah.
on social media saying, that he's not being serious, he's unprofessional, childish or whatever. Just called him everything but a child of God. And it was just ridiculous because if you're mad because a player has a lollipop in their mouth during the game, but you're not upset that cats be out there with tobacco, chewing tobacco in their mouth, spitting all over the place,
Right.
something that causes cancer. You ain't mad about that, but you're mad about somebody out there just with a piece of candy in their mouth.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Crazy work, man.
That's crazy. That really people will find anything to pick on. I could see if he was a marginal player, if he made a lot of errors in the field, if he was having a horrible season, then making that, like, well, you doing even still, that's still like to make that lollipop the reason, that he's having a bad season. That's horrible. Jazz Chisolm is a great player. The very next day or a couple of days later, in a game, he made an outstanding play. And now it's like, okay, you made all that big deal about the sucking his lollipop, but you're ignoring that he's a great player and he ain't doing nothing wrong. The very next day, he made a play where they do hit an infield fly pop up just outside the dirt onto the grass. He acted like he was going to catch it and he just let it fall. And the guy who was running was running first base, he stayed at first base instead of going to second. Well, he just threw him out at second. The reason why he did it wasn't a double play. What happened was the guy who was on first base was the leading base stealer on that team, the fastest guy on that team, and the leading base stealer in the league. So he was like, instead of catching his ball and getting a batter out,
right,
I'm gonna let it fall and throw that runner out. That way he ain't stealing no bases. He ain't finna score on us.
That's baseball intelligence right there.
Yes,
because everything to the average viewer or fan would say pop fly, catch it.
Mm-hmm.
But having that baseball mind, like, no, this cat, he's a known base stealer. We can't have him, after one or two pitches getting in scoring position. Yeah. Let me get that threat off the field right now.
Exactly.
And so they don't think about that because they were too busy thinking about a lollipop.
Right. Crazy work. And if he was a white player, unfortunately, I guarantee you it probably, I mean, we got to talk about it because if he was a white player, they probably would never have said anything. They probably would have made it a joke. Oh, look at him. He's cool. He got a lollipop while he's playing the game. And then he can have a lollipop in his mouth and turn around the next play and throw somebody out.
Look at his confidence.
Yeah, he's confident to play with a lollipop in his mouth.
Yeah, it's crazy work how we're just held at this unreachable standard. Mm-hmm. So whether it's Jazz Chisolm with a lollipop, Bonds, not wanting to talk to media, Griffey with his hat turned back, even it even goes back to the 70s, when cats, were wearing afros, so they, like you were talking about, they wearing a cap, but afro sticking out all sides.
Mm-hmm. Reggie Jackson was famous for that.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson, Dave Parker.
And so, they caught flack. Why don't you cut your hair? But you had other guys, white guys with long hair and these, long Fu Manchu mustache and stuff like that. Yeah. No flack there. Goose Gossage, much as I love to see him pitch, he had that big old mustache and it was intimidating, but have Dave Parker, somebody have the pork chop sideburns. That's a problem.
Remember Raleigh Fingers?
Yeah,
and he
with the
had that mustache
handlebar.
that a curl.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I thought that was kind of unique and different. You know what I mean? But if, let's say, a black player was decide, I'm gonna grow my chin hair out and braid it and put some beads on it, I guarantee you somebody gonna have something to say about that. Or even if they don't put no beads on it, just braid it.
Imagine if there was a MLB player who looked like James Harden with the beard.
Yeah.
That would be a problem.
Yeah, it would be too much. Too much. What are you doing too much?
Yeah.
And there's non-black players that got
big beard. You see it, but if it came to us,
it's a problem.
It's
Especially
a problem.
If you ain't doing good on the field, man. You need to cut that beard down.
Yep.
It's affecting your swing.
But what the song say? It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
When I do it.
We know the other part.
In my head, I was like, don't say it. But I was thinking it.
Me too.
Forgive me, Lord.